So there are a couple stretches you can do if you take a break from the technology, particularly our phones and our iPads. We are going to be using them. Even if we're perfectly set up throughout the day in the most efficient posture, it's good to get some stretching in because those muscles are working. Put one hand behind the back, the other hand gently helps bring the opposite ear to shoulder in sort of a side bending position. I'm sure you've seen this before, but what you should know is that you can take up the slack in different ways that make the stretch more meaningful to you. So you can play around with bringing your chin to your chest and sort of turning the chin towards the side that you're stretching, or turn the chin away from the side that you're stretching. You also could bring the head back gently and angle the chin at different angles so that you find the stretch that's good for you. I would hold about 30 seconds, maybe do 3 deep breaths. Know that you're in a vulnerable position now because now you're at an end range for your neck. So gingerly come off the stretch, nice and easy, be kind to your body, and then just maybe do a couple of shoulder rolls. And then of course do the other side. Place your hands on the table, spread your fingers wide, press all the knuckles into the table. From there, you're going to go what your stretch is. So your stretch may not look like my stretch. Start with being really loose and start to weight shift over the wrist until you feel a slight pull in your forearms, which would be right along here. You might feel a little compression in the wrist. It's okay to explore that stretch and compression, but please don't jam into the stretch. Don't load it a lot. Kind of keep your weight back on your feet and just weight shift forward. I also want you to be mindful, because we're talking about posture, we talk about posture no matter what we're doing, is what your back is doing and your head and neck are doing. This stretch also shouldn't look like this, all right? So really straighten out the back from the tailbone to the top of the head, shoulders down and back, and gentle weight shift into the hands, over the wrists until you feel a nice stretch. That's step one. When you get pretty loose with that and you can at least reach, let's say straight up and down or neutral and go forward a little bit, you might want to try, and this is difficult, but you should know you can try to angle the fingers towards your own body and try to get the wrist or the heel of the hand down onto the table. That might be a challenge for some of you. You might find that you can only do it here. That's also a warning sign to say technology is making your wrists and hands too tight. Try to work on getting the fingers pointing to the body, and then in this case you're going to start leaning way forward till it's loose, and then start to gently shift back until you feel a stretch in those same areas, pressing the knuckles into the table. But this can also be done on hands and knees. Table just might be easier for most. Then when you're coming off the stretch, nice and easy because you've been in a lengthened position, and you might want to do some wrist circles to put some joint kind of mobility back into the wrists.